Want to know what a real man would tell their lady about love and life? You're in the right place. This is Hello Ladies with Rom Wills. Rom Wills is a speaker and author of several books on relationships. Grab some wine, sit back, and enjoy.
Hello, ladies. Welcome to my spot. Why it's hard to find a successful black man. And speaking of successful black men, this episode is brought to you by Shante Oils. This young man, he has some hair and body spray for you, and also some facial scrubs, and also plenty of other stuff. Check out his stuff. His information is in the description box. Shante will support that, man. You know, we got to support our businesses and everything. All right? So, wait, hold on a second. Yeah, brother had to cough. You know what? This weather is crazy. Hopefully, you know what? Winter was holding on. It's like Winter was holding on to that guy she knew was there. She was like, you ain't going nowhere. It's like, come on now, go. It's spring. Shit, I got to break out my fly stuff, you know? Collar stuff. Speaking of which, ladies, you know what? I'm gonna hit y'all one day. I'm gonna get that no collar, that no collar suit. I just don't know. So anyway, right? Check it out. Why it's hard to find a successful black man? Cause let's be real. Even though many women can find that guy to be happy with, most sisters looking for that successful man. Like one of my most popular videos. You know, and I got good and bad comments on it. Thumbs down and, you know, many more thumbs up was one when I was talking about the type of men that type of women rather, that top tier black men want. And, you know, people have it, but one thing I found just covering that subject over the years, many women have trouble finding that type of man. In fact, I remember I wrote an article way back in about 2000. You know, talking about successful black men, and I had women on different message boards get on there and say these men don't exist. And, you know, for some women, they don't exist. For some women, because they never encountered them. Now, here's the problem. Here's the issue. Why it's hard to find them. And it's a very simple reason. Well, it's a simple reason, several reasons. One, and I did a video on my main channel, one of my more popular videos. Many successful black men tend to be low key because he already knows there's going to be people with their hands out. I was just talking with a brother the other day. He said people be hitting him up trying to get like $5,000, $10,000 out of him because they know he got it. And it's just like, that's the thing. You got people with their stuff out, so they want to be low key as much as possible. You know, one thing when you see guys driving around Mercedes and other high-end cars and everything, they're not always making the most money. You know, I saw a meme one place. They said, yeah, the middle class folks, they driving the upscale cars, and the actual upscale people are driving the middle class cars, economy cars. So, you know, a lot of times you're not going to see it, and a lot of times I might pass a very successful man, but it doesn't seem like it. And because there's a lot of men out there who, you know, how you going to tell? They just got ordinary clothes on. If they smart, drive ordinary cars. And quite frankly, and especially in the black community, even if they driving a Mercedes, don't mean they have money. So then you still might not pay attention to something like that. So one, they could be right in front of you. But another more important reason, a lot of times they just on a different vibration. I got several stories, right? I remember I went with when I was younger, I used to go to exclusive parties. When I say exclusive, you had to know somebody to even know where it was going to be. Not even so much invited, but like if you showed up, they pretty much take your money. But they didn't advertise these parties. They weren't advertised on the radio. They didn't have flyers on some telephone pole anyway or anything like that. You just had to know somebody. And once you got in, you get on the mailing list, boom. That's it. Now, I remember I had a couple friends. Now, I would say on a scale from 1 to 10, the infamous scale. These were two sisters. They rated about, I say, a 6 and a 7 respectively, right? You know, a little bit above average. They were cool. You know, the type that, you know, maybe ordinary blue collar type of brothers would mess with, lower end professional, stuff like that. Down to earth type of fuck. You know, probably make the good girlfriend and wives. I know at least one is married with some kids, and I'm not sure about the other one, right? So, you know, I got some information about this exclusive party coming up, and I was like, oh, okay. And, you know, I was cool with them, so I said, all right, yeah, y'all want to roll with me, right? And I rolled in there. Now, these are two women, 6 and 7 range, right? Got in there. I had a good time. They didn't. Because, yeah, they were 6 and a 7, but the women in there, black women, were like 9s. In fact, the one sister who was a 6, she said she was visibly uncomfortable. And her terms, the exact terms was around here with all these black Barbies. Because all the women were slender. This was like a mostly upscale, black upper class type of thing. You either had that or a lot of like black professionals like doctors, lawyers, things like that. Upper tier. Right? And these sisters, they one made a good time of it, but she was like, yeah, right. But it had a ton of professional men, had a ton of successful type of men, ton of men on that path, right. That's one instance, right. Now, like I said, with just the average ordinary looking woman wasn't in there, right. And these are type of, because, well, I'll get into that in a second. Because there was another instance, it was at a club in the DC area. I'll never forget this because I was doing it. And I've talked about this on my main channel because it was so profound to me. I was doing a book signing in the exclusive club at this place called Hogate's. That's real low. Zanzibar on the waterfront. You know, right down there on the waterfront in DC. I don't know if it's there now. It's probably not. Clubs only have about good 7-8 years to last, right? But I was doing a book signing in the VIP section, and I was struck. There were women in the VIP section, but all of them were workers except for one sister. She had a business because it cost some money to just be in this section. It had a private interest and everything, and I was like, damn. Like I told the gentleman who sponsored me, man, say, man, go get me some women up here, man. I had to like go to the main part of the club just to even see some women. I was just like, wow. And they were ordinary sisters. Probably got managers and stuff like that, probably making decent money. But then the really upscale dudes, you know, the type that women say they want, they were up in this other section. Look, here's the reason though. The ultimate reason why it's hard to find them. They on a different vibration. They're not going to maybe go to the same things you're going to go to or be in the same circles. When you start dealing with money, when a man gets money, right, regardless of race, he don't do the same things. He shop in different places, you know. He might have shopped at Macy's at first, and it's a decent place. Macy's is a different place, a decent place. I actually used to work at one, right. He'll shop at Macy's at first, you know, get some suits, all that stuff. They got good stuff, but he started getting more money. All of a sudden, what'd he do? He started shopping at Nordstrom's. Man, every single time I've gone in a Nordstrom, the way they carry it, you don't even see prices up. You don't see sale size or anything else, so that's a bit more upscale. And then as he get more money, he shop at the Brewberry shop. You know? And then more and more money. So one, he's shopping in different places. He's going different places. You know, if he's just making average money, he working out at Planet Fitness, right? When he started making more and more money, he had that exclusive club. Shoot, the club got like health club, and I mean health club, not a gym, health club. Like professional staff got a valet on service and everything. Got massage therapists. He's gonna go up. It's a different vibration. That's the one thing. He's going to go up. He might not even, if he even go to church, he ain't going to go to a regular church. You know, and shoot, Whereas he might have lived in like a pretty, he could live in a decent middle class neighborhood, but the more money he get, what he do? Move to like some high rise condo or something, depending on where he live. Shit, you might even move if you're making enough money. Move to a gated community, depending on his region and everything. Shit, he's gonna start socializing because at that level, guys like that they socialize, but they don't socialize the same way. You know, in fact, many of them, they can't just meet an ordinary woman on the street. Or they might not meet a woman at a church. They not going to yeah. You know what? They ain't going to the local necessarily going to the local poetry spots or anything like that or art scene. They might depending on the level of it. But as man gets more money, and this really regardless of race, he moves up. He ain't getting stuff from the Hyundai dealership. Shit, he looking at that Mercedes dealership, or depending on how much money, maybe even that Bentley dealership. You know, shoot, that Infinity or something. Nah, that's still a lot of ordinary people got Infinities, but he's looking up. He's just going to move in a different vibration, and people don't realize once you start talking money like that, the world that man's going to move into, and usually it's not something you advertise. Like if somebody say, "Well, how can I find this world?" You got to kind of find you. Because at that certain level, because people see how I am now. I'm down to earth now, got my beard, and live very modestly. That's only for spiritual reasons, though. If I stayed in that world, well, I probably wouldn't be making this video. I definitely wouldn't make it. I wouldn't need to, you know. But once you get in that world, it's not like you don't go to those clubs where everybody's around the line. If you want to go to a club, you're not going to eat at the same place. Red Lobster or something like that might be high end for some ghetto folk or even some middle class folk. Hey, the one near me, shit, it's pretty classy and everything. Shoot, these dudes eating someplace else. They going to those restaurants and places like that where they don't even have prices on the menu. Because if they have to ask, boom, shopping in some place like Brewberry or something, it's like casual shopping. Once you get more money, it was like boom. It's like, I knew a young lady, and she was more connected with athletes, and that's another thing too. A lot of these guys ain't athletes, so it's a different thing. It's a different network, right? But she was connected, and she was talking about this dude just casually spent $300 on a shirt. And that's where these guys are. So their mindset is different. And also, as you get in those networks, right, especially with men, the physical quality of a woman is a whole lot different. She ain't one of those women wearing some Spanx or dealing with some weight issues or something. We talking very fit. We talking a level of beauty and class that makes many IG models look like the ratchets that they are. Because even like these IG models couldn't even mess with this level of man. Because at that level, a woman has to be very beautiful but very classy. So a lot of times you get some women jump into that. Like I said, beauty and classy. They ain't gonna want to see a lot of tattoos and stuff. It's gonna be a network thing. It's gonna be like you gotta know somebody. That's how it is. That's if only way a woman, if you want that type of man, only way you gonna think about getting in there, you gonna have to be like on a physical level, a 9 at a minimum. Because at that level, because I see a lot of women, and the more ordinary, got extra weight, all that, maybe don't have that same level of sex appeal. Shoot, these guys ain't messing with it. I gotta do a separate video on that. Once every 10,000 you add to a man's salary, regardless of his race, the more points are going to be added on to the type of woman he's going to want to deal with. I want it regardless of what he look like. That's just a point. Every $10,000, right? Every $10,000. So, say if that dude, like a dude making maybe like I say good 30, right? That's decent living wage and all of that. Oh, he's going to have he ain't gonna have a lot of requirements for a woman. But when they go up to 50, you're gonna see his choices go up, and then 70. I say 10,000. Let's say 20. Every 20,000 goes up. So as soon as that thing says 6 figures, ordinary women are pretty much short, and that's the base. That's the base. I think I did another video. I think I threw out 50,000 as a base, and the reason I did that because 75% of the population don't make that much. And some people have some good criticism for it. I give it to them. I give it to them. I give them that. But 100,000, and then we talking some dudes. You got a lot of millionaires out there. People don't realize it. Please. They just on a different vibration, and that's the key. That's why a lot of women won't meet them. I mean, and I'm just being real with y'all. Y'all know I'm gonna be real on here. A lot of women looking for that. They got those Cinderella fantasies, but I'm just be real. If you don't got a super tight body and a real sensual demeanor, give up on it. And I see there's a whole bunch of women. I see even on right here on YouTube, a bunch of these women they say they want that guy and all that. If they can't, I'll put it like this. At a minimum, they need to get those type of guys. Honestly, if you ain't catch that guy when he was young, the minimum they're going to need to do is be able to put their picture on something like IG and get a huge following. Real talk. Because the thing about these guys, they don't need you. They are big on trophies and everything. So if you want that type of dude, you got to think about some things. And it might be better just to hit the gym or something like that real hard. But whatever the case, I ain't going to, I'm just saying, that's why you're not going to see them. They just on a different vibration. So anyway, as always, real talk, all that, tough love. Just going to be honest with y'all on this joint. So anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace and blessings.